This is Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Washington Redskins getting ready to do battle with the New York Giants from Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Mark Brown with you throughout tonight's ball game. Al Michaels and John Madden, as always, will have the call coming to you tonight from Giants Stadium. Eli Manning's got the Giants at 9-4. They've won 2 straight on the road, and they are 9 of their last 11. So they're playing some pretty decent football as far as winning or losing. The performances of Eli Manning in his 3.5 years as the starting quarterback of the New York Giants have been a bit up and down, as has been well documented. But he's got some weapons, and he's got this Giants team playing winning football right now. Despite the fact they've scored 2 touchdowns or less in 5 of the last 6 games, they have still been able to win most of those. Nonetheless, at 9-4, they're second in the NFC East. They can't win the division, but they can clinch a playoff berth tonight. A man they'll be counting on heavily is this man, the big and burly 6'4", 260-pound running back, Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs, 137 carries on the season for 669 yards. He missed a fair bit of time in the early part of this season with injury, but he makes the Giants a much better football team when he is on the field. He's got some speed, some decent feet for a man of his size. In his 3rd season out of Southern Illinois. Got a couple touchdowns rushing and 1 touchdown receiving on the season. Able to get those tough yards that the Giants need so much. He averages almost 5 yards per carry. Clinton Portis last week against the Bears, a little bit off running the football, only 2 yards per carry, but was quite a factor out of the backfield in that victory over the Bears. Kids at 6-7 on the season. Needed that victory. They had lost 4 straight after having a pretty solid start to this year. They are hoping to remain in the playoff picture somewhat, but they really have to have a victory tonight to have any chance at all. And Clinton Portis, a man who 4 times in his career, first 4 years, have gone over 1,300 yards, and 3 of those 1,500-yard seasons, but his play has dropped off just a little bit. Here's a look at the playoff picture in the NFC so far. Cowboys, Packers, Seahawks, and Buccaneers have all clinched their divisions. The Giants, with a win tonight, can clinch the first wild card berth in the NFC, and the Vikings have surged lately. They'll be our Monday Night Football game tomorrow night. They are next best position in the NFC. So we're ready on what has been a snowy northeast weather pattern, but clear right now. The Giants will receive. Let's send it out to Al Michaels.
A rookie from Marshall will return the opening kickoff. Sean Sweezum, formerly of the Cowboys.
Stay on there. Now, after it happens 2 times, they'll bring a holder in, which I thought they would have done after that first win.
A little wishful thinking.
And Andrew was talking about how Todd Collins doesn't like the wind or throwing. We'll always tell you when.
Lee Torrance will do the holding, so eventually we will. Here we go. With the kick toward the corner, fielded at the 10-yard line by Bradshaw. And Bradshaw up past the 30, and a good run back to begin the game as he takes it to the 37-yard line.
Madison Hitchcock, University of North Carolina.
Plexico Burris, Michigan State. Amani Toomer, University of Michigan.
Jeremy Shockey, University of Miami.
Dave Deal, University of Chief Illinois.
Rich Seibert, Western Illinois.
John O'Hara, Rutgers.
Chris Snee, Boston College.
Marie McKenzie, Penn State.
And the Giants open up with an empty backfield and 5 wide on first down. And the first play is a 3-step drop and an errant pass. And Fred Smoot, the defensive back, got his hand on it. So Manning on a slant on first down, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Isn't it something? Plexico Burris doesn't practice all week. They come out here 2 hours before the game and throw some passes, and that's the only time that Eli Manning throws to Plexico Burris.
Every time I think of Burris and the year he's had, I keep thinking of that Allen Iverson line. Practice?
I tell you, it's probably driving every coach in America crazy that a guy can not practice and play as well as he does.
Meanwhile, here's Brandon Jacobs across the 50 and into Washington territory to the 45-yard line. The retirement of Tiki Barber, and it was Jacobs who takes over that spot. He gained 17, but he got hurt early in the season. Derek Ward did a nice job. Now he's gone for the year, and Jacobs is the man again.
Well, that's Madison Hedgecock, the fullback here. He gets a lead. He gets a good lead right there, and that creates a second level for Brandon Jacobs. Pretty good blocking by the line, too. Pretty good running by Brandon Jacobs. I'll tell you one thing, he is going to protect that football tonight.
It was so windy that they spotted the ball and it rolled about halfway to the sideline. Now it's re-spotted at the 45-yard line. Sean O'Hara, the center. The Giants have started the same interior 5 all season long. Here's the play fake. Manning steps up in the pocket and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Burris, covered by Smoot. Let's take a look at the Redskin defense.
Philip Daniels, Donaldsonville, Georgia.
Cornelius Griffin, Alabama.
Anthony Montgomery, Minnesota.
Andre Carter, California.
Marcus Washington, Auburn.
London Fletcher, John Carroll University.
Roger McIntosh, the U.
Sean Springs, The Ohio State University.
Reed Dowdy, Northern Colorado.
LeRon Landry, LSU. Fred Smoot, Mississippi State University.
Dowdy, the man who gets the start now in the absence of the late Sean Taylor. Carter is their leading sack man with 8.5, and the pass is thrown incomplete over the middle. And that one's intended for Amani Toomer, and Sean Springs, who had 2 interceptions in the Chicago game, is in on the coverage. Eli Manning now in his 4th season. He's not played well like the Giants at home necessarily. They're 3-3 here, but on the road the team has been great. They lost their road opener at Dallas on a Sunday night, but since then they've won 6 consecutive games away from Giant Stadium.
Right, you know, no one plays well here. This is a hard place to play, and they say, you know, they play better on the road. It's just that your home field or your home stadium is a very difficult place to play, and the weather, the wind, those conditions are a big part of it.
And then he lofts one up into the air, and Burris has to turn around and adjust, and almost is able to make the catch, but he can't. Burris got underneath it, and of course, it's almost like you have wind shear here. You throw it up, and especially a ball thrown that high, it's going to come back and forth and go sideways, and that one did. He almost makes the catch, though.
Yeah, you see what Burris did. When you get even, that's the old rule. When you're even, you're leaving. And when he got even, he raised his hand, and he says, I have him now. And with that wind or that wind shear, as you say, Eli just wasn't able to get it to him. Plexico Burris did have a beat.
Jeff Fiegels at the age of 41 gets a nice bounce there on a kick toward the sideline that's fielded by Antoine Randall. And he is stopped at the 15. Washington taking over for the first time on offense when we come back to the Meadowlands.
Greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here, you belong.
It's college football bowl season again on NASN, and this December we bring you 15 of the best bowl games from across the NCAA. All these great games, plus the 5 BCS games live in January, only on NASN. Check NASN.com for schedules and information.
Sunday Night Football on ESPN. No score in the opening moments of the first quarter. Just across the Hudson River from New York City is a Giant Stadium where the Redskins have the ball for the first time on Sunday Night Football. It's in and out to Al Michaels.
And Portis picks up about 3 to the 18. Todd Collins at one time the anointed successor to Jim Kelly in Buffalo. They drafted him and then Kelly retired, and then Collins was the starter in 1997. That was Marv Levy's last season. And then Levy retires, Wade Phillips comes in, and they release Collins. He winds up in Kansas City where he backs up Trent Green forever. And then finally when he leaves, Green got hurt, so Collins never really got a chance to play there. Comes to Washington and is the #2 quarterback, and now he's the #1 guy as long as Campbell is out. Portis to the 19-yard line. Let's take a look at that Washington offense.
Todd Collins,
Michigan. Clint Portis, the U. Mike Sellers, North Thurston.
Santana Moss, the U.
I'm Antoine Randall, Indiana University.
Chris Cooley, Utah State University.
Chris Samuels, Alabama.
Pete Kendall, Boston College.
Casey Raubach, Wisconsin.
Jason Fabini, University of Cincinnati.
Stefan Heyer, University of Maryland, College Park.
Antoine Randall auditioning for his own game show. 3rd down and 5 with the ball at the 19-yard line.
Stefan Heyer has to block Michael Strahan tonight. He's a rookie free agent. That's going to be a tough job.
This is Antoine Randall, who would have been on the receiving end of a pass that winds up about 5 yards out of bounds. So it's 3 and out for Washington.
And we talked about Heyer being a rookie, and you know that they're going to give him help. There they have the fullback Sellers blocking him, and then Clinton Portis coming in to finish him. Those are 2 very good blockers. And Mike Sellers, that's what he's in there for. But Clinton Portis, a very good tailback, but an excellent blocker.
Derek Frost, you saw him move to take the snap, and then the kick is a terrible kick, but he does get a pretty good roll. And it's down at the 42-yard line, and we have our first penalty of the game. Pete Morelli is tonight's referee. Ethan Albright was the snapper, and every snap tonight, every kick is going to be an adventure, and you've got to hold against the Redskins.
Yeah, I was saying how quarterbacks hate win. Number 1, number 2 would be kickers.
And especially in a stadium like this, and we've talked about the swirling wind and the wind shear, but the wind is more pronounced here in the middle of the field. They have the famous doors at both ends of the stadium.
Holding, number 20, kicking team, 10-yard penalty at the end of the kick, 1st down.
Pearson Prelo for the hold. So the Giants will be in pretty good position when we come back, taking over for the 2nd time. No score.
That is ugly.
Spend your holidays with us right here on NASN. The NFL regular season comes to an end with the league's top teams vying for playoff berths.
Pass into the end zone and is caught for the touchdown.
We've got 15 bowl games leading to every BCS game live in January.
Touchdown, Ohio State.
And ring in the new year with a special live NHL doubleheader.
Scores!
The holidays have never looked brighter on NASN.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
Monday Night Football tomorrow night. A big matchup for the Minnesota Vikings as they try for their late season playoff push. They will play host to division rival the Chicago Bears. Don't miss it. For now, back to Sunday Night Football.
Starting the Redskin 48, Jacobs swings to the outside. And Jacobs gets knocked down at about the line of scrimmage. Marcus Washington with the stop. Again, Jacobs getting the job with Tiki retiring. Jacobs 2 years at a junior college in Kansas, Coffeyville. Then he went to Auburn, where he played with Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams. Didn't get enough playing time and winds up ending his career in Southern Illinois. The Giants wind up picking him, and now he's the guy as McIntosh is down for an injury timeout. Played 3 minutes. It feels like about 15, doesn't it? Jeez.
The greetings are different. Feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here, you belong.
In his 11th NFL season, Philadelphia Eagles safety Brian Dawkins showed no signs of slowing down. In 2006, B-Dawk earned his 6th trip to the Pro Bowl with a career-high 98 tackles. His ball-hawking mentality helped force 9 turnovers and lead Philadelphia to another division title.
Hold the ball before the game, making sure that he was going to possess it securely. 2nd and 10 after they take McIntosh off, and this spot taken by Kerry Campbell. And this is a gain of 1 to the left side.
You know, that's one of the things that's difficult. The guy fumbles.
Well, here's tonight's Sunday Night Football trivia question. Who's the all-time record holder for most consecutive games played in NFL history? Is it Brett Favre? That's a good possibility. How about Jim Marshall, Jeff Fiegels, or Morton Anderson? We'll have the answer for you later on Sunday Night Football. For now, we'll send it back out to Giant Stadium.
He really hasn't gotten it yet, so he had him all week. He's been carrying a ball around him to the meetings, to practice, to every place he goes. He just has a football in his arm, keeping it high and tight.
3rd down and 9 as Manning swings it to the outside, and that's caught by Reuben Drones, but he stopped a little shy of the 1st down. Sean Springs runs him out of bounds, and that's going to make it 4th down and 1, and the verbal swell already starts from the crowd. They want Coughlin to go for it. Offense looks over there. Here's Tom's first decision of the night. And at least they're going to line up to go for it.
Yeah, they got their power formation in there. They have 3 tight ends. And remember, you go back to the first game in the short yardage when the Redskins didn't get in there against them. They all say that was a turning point.
And they will run the play, and they're going to give it to Drones, and he's going to be real close.
If Drones did get it, Al, he got it right there at the end when he turned his body sideways. You know, you want backs to make themselves big. You want them to be power backs. But at some point, you want them to make themselves small to get through a hole. Now watch Reuben Drones. I'm not sure if he gets a 1st down or not. But watch here. He goes sideways right there. He makes himself small. And in doing so, he picked up about 2 more yards.
Now they're going to measure. You saw the head linesman, George Hayward, come in. And initially the ball was spotted on what would have been the center of the yellow line. They're going to come up a little short here. And the Washington Redskins are going to take over at their own 39-yard line.
XGames.com is the year-round online destination for action sports from around the world. We've got the latest vids, bios, photo galleries, and news 24/7, 365. Moto, BMX, skate, rally, surf, and the exclusive home of the X Games. If it happened in the world of action sports, it'll be on XGames.com. Bookmark it and log on early and often. Anytime, any place. XGames.com.
So the Redskin defense holding as Tom Coughlin decides to gamble. And I say it's not a huge gamble, but in a situation like this where field position apparently with the weather conditions and the wind is going to be important, the Giants just gave away a lot of field position.
You saw a shot there of Andre Carter, and they tried to run at him, and he played that very well.
Now Collins throws, and that pass is too high, intended for Chris Cooley as we take a look at the Giants defense.
Michael Strahan, the Texas Southern University.
Barry Cofield, Northwestern. Fred Robbins, Wake Forest. OCU Menora, University of Troy.
Reggie Torber, Auburn.
Antonio Pierce, Mount San Antonio Junior College.
Kavika Mitchell, South Florida.
Kevin Dockery, Mississippi State.
Craig Dahl, North Dakota State.
Michael Johnson, Arizona.
Sam Madison, Louisville.
The two young safeties, because the two would-be starters are hurt. Here's a swing pass, and that's incomplete. And Portis just knocked it down as he got whacked. Pass is incomplete. Kevin Dockery came in to knock him down, and Collins starts 0 for his first 3.
You know, and I think that's who they want to work on is Kevin Dockery there. Kevin Dockery, not a very big guy and not a real good tackler. And I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Portis out here on the edge, get him on Dockery, but Dockery made a very good and a very aggressive play.
With this wind, the two quarterbacks are a collective 1 for 8. Manning 1 for 5. That pass to Drones, good for 8 yards. And now Collins tries for his first completion and won't even be able to throw it because that's Fred Robbins who comes busting through the middle. The Giants noted, of course, on the outside with Strahan and Umenyiora, and then Robbins gets free in the interior and gets the sack.
You know, and that's what Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator of the Giants, was talking about, is getting pressure on Todd Collins right up the middle. Now, you know, with these defensive ends, you're always going to get pressure from the outside. But if Robbins and Cofield can get pressure up the middle, they can make a long night for Todd Collins.
That's a bullet punt by Frost. That looked like a Brett Favre pass. And it's run back to the 33-yard line by R.W. McQuarters. Back come the Giants, 9:44 left in the first, no score. Did you see the way?
Yeah.
From the people who brought you College Game Day and the worldwide leader in sports comes the biggest thing to hit college football in years, College Football Live. A new way to get your fix every weekday with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and packed full of previews and predictions. Get ahead of the game every weekday with College Football Live on NASN.
Is this the year the Cup comes to Buffalo?
To Carolina? To Pittsburgh? Is this the year someone scores 50 and 38?
And 37?
And 36? Is this the year someone scores 200 points?
Is this the year kids start taping their sticks like Stahl?
Is this the year someone scores 93?
Is this the year a forward becomes unstoppable?
Is this the year a goalie stops everything? Is this the year we finally figure out who's dad's favorite?
Is this the year?
Is this the year?
Этот год?
Is this the year?
Is this the year?
So that make Bryan his uncle. 2nd down and 6 from the 36-yard line. This is Jacobs working his way out to the 41. The linebacker-sized running back, Brandon Jacobs.
You know, and one of the things we talk about Plexico Burress and, you know, how he's a deep threat. And one thing about the Redskins, they are not going to get beat deep. Watch Laron Landry back here and how deep he'll play. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, says when the ball snapped, if he's a single safety, he wants him back 25 yards. He wants his heels at 25 yards because last year they had a problem, the deep pass and the big plays against him. So he's not going to have that this year.
On a 3rd and 2, he comes up a little closer and rolling to his right and completing the pass for a first down is Manning to Burris, covered there by Smoot. So for Eli, that's his 2nd completion in 6 attempts and the Giants' 2nd first down of the night.
Yeah, we talk about how amazing it is, Plexico Burris not practicing all week and coming in and being the biggest threat of the Giants, but it's also a problem for Eli. I mean, here's a guy that he has to rely on for the big plays in the game, and he doesn't get a single rep in practice with him.
And through it all, Burris is their leading receiver. He's closing in on 1,000 yards, and he's caught 10 touchdown passes this season from the 46-yard line. Jacobs again, probing the middle. And then he gets taken down by Anthony Montgomery. And you talk about their only work during the week taking place about 2 hours before the game.
Right, they come out here and they throw the route tree. They just throw all the patterns that they're going to run in the game. And there's just the 2 of them out there, and this is, again, like you just said, this is the only time that they do this all week. And it's 2 hours before the game, but 2 hours before the game, the 2 of them look pretty good, didn't they?
Yeah, Burris with the ankle injury and also the knee, talking about the fact that the knee is now more of a problem than the ankle. 2nd down and 9. The left knee, so the right ankle and the left knee. Play fake by Manning, stepping up, feels the pressure, and then gets hit from behind and loses the ball and recovered by the Washington Redskins. Andre Carter forced the fumble, and Anthony Montgomery recovers it at the New York 45-yard line.
And there's the inconsistency, and there's the turnovers we're talking about. There comes a point where you have to have that clock in your head, and Eli Manning has to know that, okay, that thing is there. I have to get that ball out. The ball has to come out by now. He doesn't do it, and Andre Carter gets there. He looks like he was just getting ready to, that he just got, but it was a half a beat late. Here's Andre Carter coming from that backside, good speed, good quickness. He's the guy that they're running at, and he's playing pretty well against the run, and he came up with a big pass rush on that one.
And nothing to challenge. Clearly the empty hand coming forward. 6:58 to go after the turnover in the first quarter, and now this is Portis. Portis kind of struggling this season. He's averaging only 3.7. I mean, he's not only a heavy-duty back, but he's one of the best backs in the league. But one of the problems for the Redskins has been the inconsistency and the injuries up front, whereas the Giants have had all interior 5 starting every game. Washington has had a lot of guys in and out.
If Quentin Portis is healthy, I think he's one of the best backs in football. I really like him. I like the way he runs. I like the way he blocks. I like the way he catches. And I probably like him most because he's just a tough guy.
2nd and 4 from the 39. Collins steps away from a sack. And then the pass is, for the moment, caught by Santana Moss, but now they say no. One official looking at the other. And Santana Moss, whose brother plays on the other side for the Giants, Sonoris, the intended receiver. Collins is now 0 for 4.
I was talking about Quentin Portis, and I think he takes as much pride in this, but watch him block Justin Tuck there. I mean, he gets, sometimes Joe Gibbs says he's supposed to be a check down. He's supposed to go out, but he likes blocking so much that he'll stay in and block rather than get out there in a check down.
3rd down and 4 against the 4-down linemen of the Giants. They rush for Collins to the outside, and a would-be interception is dropped by Sam Madison. And then Santana Moss gets right into the face of the official, and he says, "Where's the flag?" That's interference. No flag.
That's that old thing where you key that 3-step drop, and you look 1, 2, 3. The ball's going to come out. Sam Madison gets his hands up. Moss goes down. That would have been a big interception. I mean, not only intercepting the ball, but it would have been a big return for Sam Madison.
Probably 6 points. Ethan Albright the snap. Derek Frost, the appropriately named Derek Frost, to kick. Fair catch ball for and made at the 11-yard line by R.W. McQuarters. 6:01 to go in the first quarter. 6 minutes even right now. No score.
For Wilson NFL and GST footballs and much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
See all the best college football action live on NASN.
Play quarterback in the league, it's tough for everyone. It's not an easy job. You never know, when you're gonna have a great day or when it can be tough. So it's just about going out there, playing it, one play at a time. That's all you can do. That's all I'm trying to do, is find ways to win games for the Giants.
Eli Manning, of course, when you're the quarterback of the New York Giants, you are in the spotlight, you're in the glare. The one thing about Eli, as you look at his numbers, he's led his team to a record of 9-4, and they've won 9 of their last 11. So while some of those performances haven't been pretty, they've normally been fairly effective, and it's led them to come from behind wins as well, as Jacobs takes the ball out to the 21-yard line. Here's how Eli has done. Of course, drafted by San Diego, then he wasn't going to play for them, so they made that trade, of course, with Rivers and Merriman, among others, going to San Diego. 72 touchdown passes, 61 picks. Passer rating a little below the league average, but 29 wins. And all things considered, John, I guess, there's an inconsistency, and you talked about the Giants trying to become more consistent so they can make noise in postseason. And a lot of it's going to revolve around this guy who throws incomplete at the feet of Amani Toomer.
I'll tell you, but it was pretty smart, that one by Eli, because he was going to throw that short or quick pass, and Sean Springs was right on it. And if he threw it when he was going to, Sean Springs, to see him come up here, that would have been an interception. So Eli was ready to throw that, and then he brought it back down, moved to that side a little, said, okay, let's see if there's another window out there, and eventually threw it away. But that was smart by Eli Manning.
And this is Jacobs now. He's going to get stacked up at just about the place he has to go for the first down as H.B. Blades makes the tackle. And when you're talking about Springs and interceptions, and they appear again to be spotting the ball short of what would be a first down. Springs had 2 interceptions within seconds of each other against Chicago 10 days ago.
Right, within 20 seconds. And, the thing that he will guess a little, he'll get up there and they say that he'll squat about 8 or 9 yards. He'll jump things, and the Giants think, some plays they may be able to double move him. Go like they're running a hook or an out or something like that, get him to jump it and then run by him. Tom Coughlin's not going to go for this one.
Tom Coughlin has come up on the short end of 2 key spots, one on 4th down and this one on 3rd down. So he's barking into the headset, and it's Fiegels coming into punt. 20th year in the league.
That's the inconsistency I'm talking about. When you need to run, when you need that extra half yard, not getting it.
This one is downwind of sorts, but it's still a low line drive with a flag thrown. And the run back by Antoine Randall L to the 50-yard line. Todd Collins, his last start going back 10 years and 2 days. By the way, that wasn't a flag, it was just debris. Everything looks like a flag tonight. Tonight, 10 years, 2 days, longest gap between quarterback starts in National Football League history. And congratulations, of course, go out to Todd Collins, who, among other things, becomes the starting quarterback. And his wife gives birth on Friday in Boston to their second child, A son, Jack, is his name. The other son is named Max. He's 3 years old. Our congratulations to the Collinses. But what a week is he.